Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel, and in this video I am doing a blitz chess game analysis with the help of chess.com engine. So I just played played few blitz games on chess.com portal, and this video is an analysis of a recent game against a player who was rated 1900 somewhere. So we both had a very similar rating, and which is some and the game was played at a quite decent level. And after the analysis, I found out that my game had an average difference of 0.18, which means that my game was quite comparable to how a chess engine would play or a grandmaster would play. So I was pretty happy about that, and I delved a little bit deeper into how I played the game, and I will share my thought process through this video. So so in this game we were playing English opening. I was black. In English opening, even though I don't have a lot of theoretical knowledge about chess openings, I did study a little bit around 2012 when I was really ambitious to learn the game of chess. And after some experience gained through repeated failures and understanding the fundamentals of chess, I just trust upon solid moves and play based on my chess rationale. So even though I don't have a lot of I don't remember or practice a lot of chess openings, I understand how some openings work. For example, in English opening, you try to control the clash is always on the central squares, and we fianchetto bishops in case of symmetrical chess English openings, and try to control the white squares in case of white fianchettoed bishop. And so this game follows this kind of pursuit. And so let's get started with the analysis. Here I'm playing c5. This is a very good example. This is how a symmetrical English opening starts. And my opponent played knight f3, knight c3, which is quite standard move. So I played b6, which is not very common actually. I think this move is not optimal, we could say, because in a chess game you try to play most of your pieces in the beginning towards center. So I'm just developing a pawn in the fringe side of my queen side. So it's okay, it doesn't mean that I'm in a disadvantage, but as black you have to play more sound moves. But in this game it's quite acceptable. So let's get started. So this makes a lot of sense. He plays g3, trying to fianchetto the white bishop and attack my rook. But the advantage of my suboptimal move, which I played in the last opportunity, allows me to put the bishop before him, and in this way I gain a tempo over him. And now he is forced to move his knight to f3, and the game proceeds with me trying to control the central square of d5. So the clash is always towards d5 now. So he fianchettos. I develop my knight to f6, and this is quite standard. He castles. I'm going to castle the next move, and he this move I didn't like from him, because usually you could attack with the central pawn towards d4. d3 e3 looks like a preparation to attack the central squares, but it's a little bit slow. So now I got the opportunity to attack, and so we exchange pawns in the game. And this is how you play as white, because now I have a lot of pawns in the center, and if there is a strong central present representation of pawns in the by your opponent. You always try to break it by pushing the pawns, and his move is quite the way you go about it. So b4 is accurate. So now I am in a position to either take or so if you take here, both of us end with isolated queen pawns, and even I didn't like that, so I castled. And this move I didn't actually expect, but it makes a lot of sense from him, and actually I am under threat now and I have to play accurately. So this move of knight e5 made me to wonder how I am going to protect the d pawn. So I try to play what's sensible to me. Even though I understood there is a good chance that I could lose the central pawn of mine, so I try to present a knight to his attacking knight and try to exchange it if the scenario arises. So he solidified his knight in the center. I think it was a suboptimal move. There could be ways where it could be dynamically played better than what he did. Now I am presented with a lot of trouble in the center, and I took a lot of time to go around it, and I decided to push my pawn forward because I didn't find any other opportunity to play better. So the computer recommends knight e4. Yeah, I wonder why I didn't play that. Okay, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's the way to go about it. But since it was a blitz game, I didn't take a lot of time. I just pushed it to keep the battle alive at the center, at the central white squares. So and after that he just blitzed the move knight c4, and I realized that it was a blunder. I missed a simple tactic, and now I have to find a way to counter the loss of my pawn. And suddenly I was very happy that I found the move ba6. Computer recommends a long variation of b5, knight e5, b4, knight e2, knight e4, a3, b crosses a3, b crosses a3, knight b6, bd2. And it was pretty hard for me to see because I am not a grandmaster, and these moves are not quite these moves don't come natural to a player of my caliber. So you have to be in somewhat in a higher level to see moves like this. So I just look for the cheap tactics, and I was looking for tactics, and I saw that hey, I could pin the white knight from which x-rays the rook. My bishop x-raying the rook pins the knight, and so I was very happy that I could somehow find a way to avenge the loss of my pawn. So, and he didn't think a lot, but the computer says that this move was quite logical and makes sense. So at this moment I am actually above at this moment I think I am up by a pawn, and I thought I am trying to make plans to keep the game in such a way that I could keep the extra pawn, but the computer evaluation says that it's plus 0.77, which means that white's favorable even though he's down an exchanged piece. So at this moment I took a long time to find out which move makes the most logical sense, and in the beginning I considered c3, rook c8, but I was not sure because it seems that I would lose a pawn and the game would be equal again. So but I realized that there is a cheap tactic. If he takes my knight over here, I could exchange it, and now here I have this knight takes opportunity, and now at this point I could take his bishop as well. So this actually simplifies my problem, and I know I need not waste any opportunity to protect that white pawn. So but I couldn't see through this all these combinations and sequence, so I was thinking for a very long time, even considering giving up the white pawn. But at the end I found out, I think this move was quite the highlight of the game, and now it's pretty much easy forward, because now I'm trying to remove the attacker on d5 and simplify my position. So these moves really help me to gain advantage in the game, and now all my problems are solved. So I put the knight on the central e4, and he's forced to take because it's too much influence on his side. So I protected the central pawn with f5, and I'm a little bit tired now, I have to say. Giving commentary is not easy. So I thought this was a mistake from him, because he couldn't move his e pawn, because his rook is pinned now, and he's forced to take with f pawn to e5. And initially I considered the most natural move to play my queen to d5, but then I thought I could be much more creative and go and attack the weak pawn on e3, but that led to a lot of problems for me later in the game. Sometimes the move which you see naturally makes the most of the logic, So queen trying to attack the weak pawn on e3, he protected it with f3, f2, and now I had the brilliant idea, I wouldn't say brilliant, the natural idea of trying the weak pawn on g3. So initially I was planning, okay, I could push my pawns forward, but it didn't make a lot of sense, because his queen is always there in the to protect the weak pawns and checks against his king. And so I thought, okay, I will play the cheap move of attacking the rook, and this actually quite helped him. And suddenly I realized that these pawns are running, the pawns on d file and e file are becoming a threat to me. I didn't realize that these pawns have a very good chance of queening, or I have to find a way to sacrifice a major piece like rook for one of these pawns. So now I am really shivering. So like Kasparov, I tried, okay, like Peter Svidler or Morozovich, I thought, okay, I will push all my pawns forward, trying to gain an attack on his castle king, and he pushed forward as well. Now I didn't really have a plan, I was just trying to figure out some way to neutralize his pawns going forward. So the only way to neutralize his attack is by attacking back. So the computer still says that his position is actually quite better, 0.93. So this is where I got the brilliant idea. This seems like a blunder, huh? Because at the first moment it seems like he's going to checkmate me, but later I realized that this is not really good for him, because now I can attack his now I have to be accurate, and I was thinking for some time to find a plan to make forcible moves to gain advantage, and the only way I think is just by pushing this pawn forward, and all other moves fail. And after some time of deliberation I was able to find this move, and he didn't think through the the forthcoming consequences, and he thought, okay, he could push his pawn forward to checkmate. But here I have this brilliant move of exchanging my rook for his bishop and preventing the mate threat. And after he takes his coin, my rook back, I could take his rook for free, and he resigned at this point of time. This was a very good game of usually games in English opening don't escalate this fast. It's like a coin pawn opening. You play for strategically. I think both of us didn't play. Both of us made some mistake. I didn't make any mistake, but a few inaccuracies which led to my white pawn on d5 being preyed upon, and I have to defend the entire game, the d5 pawn, and somehow I got an attack and made the most of the game. So thanks a lot for listening to my blabbering. Yeah, I think I have to work on my communication skills. It's not really comfortable for me to speak for such a long period of time in another foreign language without getting tired and speaking with good grammar. So thanks once again for listening to this this commentary, this analysis of mine. And I think you gain a little bit if you are a chess beginner. I think you gain something out of this analysis. See you. Bye.